Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a chat about something that was found in the Datamines. This is a decoration and also an avatar. There is the Auctioneer's Gavel and also the Auctioneer avatar. Now this could mean several things. It could just be an event around auctioning off stuff. Maybe it could be an expansion of something that we've seen previously with either the events going on right now or maybe the battle pass, but it just seems like a weird timing to add this stuff in. We're still a month out of the battle pass, and also at the same time we're coming to the end of the Churchill event, so maybe this could be a time where something turns up which is a different event, especially since they said they're going to take a break over the summer period for the event, or at least for those standard events. Maybe they're going to bring something else in. And another thing we've also seen over the last year or so is a massive expansion in gambling. Pretty much every event period now, where you used to have, whether it was a Build-A-Bear event or whether it was a summer or winter event, you had a gambling box, and it was either a Silver Lions box or a Golden Eagles box, depending on what period of time. They even last year added a system where if you bought a specific amount of boxes, you got a free avatar, and you got a free this, and you got a free that, so they were incentivizing people to spend money on loot boxes. Now, why is this a bad thing? We've talked about in the past why it's a bad thing. Obviously, you have the whole addiction thing, but of course, that is always countered by, well, personal responsibility, yada, yada, yada. Yes, that's true, apart from people who play this game can be as young as middle teenagers or even younger. I've met 12-year-olds who play this game, and giving them the idea of they have to look after their own personal responsibility, especially since you have a game and a marketing scheme that's completely designed to get them addicted to stuff, isn't really a great plan. Doesn't really work too well. But you have that, but then also you have the fact that with gambling put more into the game through these SL boxes, we don't get to see other events come back. This is one of the biggest issues, at least in my opinion, with the whole thing. Because they've introduced this mechanic, which is just gambling for boxes and hoping to get the right thing out of them, what ends up happening instead is, or what could have happened instead of the gambling boxes, is they could have brought back event vehicles. They could have maybe freed up the free XP system so you could research them like that. They could have brought them back as squadron vehicles. They could have maybe done events where you can unlock the vehicles in a different way. But instead, we have the gambling boxes. And since many people use the gambling boxes right now, especially since they boosted SL earnings last year, so now everybody just throws all of their additional SL into it, what you have is two things happening. You have a loss of those other features, which sucks, and then also what ends up happening is now in a few years or maybe half a year, people are going to complain that they don't have enough SL again because the economy isn't fitting them, even though they're gambling it all away. So what's the next step on all of this? What happens when you start to normalize these things? Because we've had a period of 2 or 3 years where this stuff has been normalized. Basically now people expect the boxes to come, just like they do expect the camouflage boxes after every update. People expect, different prices on the market when it comes to specific vehicles and all of this stuff. So what happens after this? Well, they go to the next stage, don't they? They make stuff even harder to get access to and more unique. If you want a great example of this, you have World of Tanks. World of Tanks has done this many times over in many different ways. They are kind of the master of doing these things. So to give you an example of some things that they've done over the last few years, they actually sold a set of vehicles. One of them had a number attached to it. So if you were in the top X number of people, or the first people to buy it, then you would get access to a special vehicle. And the way that it was special was it was the same vehicle as everybody else, but it had a number attached to it. So let's say it was like, top 500, the first 500 people who buy this thing, you get the number. So let's say it's a T54. So if you're the 450th person to buy it, it will be called T54 number 450. right? So then, oh, you're special because you were one of the 500 who bought it. So that's one of the things that could easily be brought in with War Thunder. It's just an addition on top of FOMO, which is just a crazy addition, but we just live in a time where that happens now. But one of the most devious things that has happened in World of Tanks is their auctioning system. And if Gaijin copies this, or if any other game copies this, this is going to be a real problem going forward. So one of the mechanics that Wargaming has, and has used in World of Tanks, and I believe also in some of their other games, is this auctioning idea. So what they do is they have a period of time where they bring out specific vehicles, and what you do is they have kind of like a base price, but you bet on that vehicle with a certain amount of money, so gold in-game, because you can't use actual money because then it would, actually have to adhere to certain laws of the land. And what you end up doing is people have to bet, and the top X amount of people in the bracket who were bet got that vehicle. So let's say the baseline cost is, I don't know, 30 GE. But only the top 200 people get it. That means that people would bet much higher, 80, 90, 100, 150, to be able to get this vehicle. And you don't know what other people have bet for the vehicle. So you are hoping that you are in the top percentage of people in order to get this vehicle. Now, if you're not in that top percentage, guess what happens? You get your money back, and you can try again on a different vehicle. But also, if you are in that top percentage, you get the vehicle and you pay for it the amount that you bet, which is way over market value of the vehicle, because it's literally just like an eBay situation where you can't see anybody else who has bet on the thing. So it is just straight up stealing money from people, because you are giving them a market value price, and you yourself as a person have to guess what cost other people or what value other people put on the vehicle, and therefore you are always going to artificially go higher because you want the vehicle from it. It's a disgusting system. It's an absolutely disgraceful system, and I can't believe it's allowed in any game, and it hasn't even been called out. It's absolutely awful. So when I see stuff like a 3D decoration for an auctioneer's gavel, when I see an avatar which is labeled the auctioneer, that's stuff that I see. I see, oh, well, if you spend this amount of GE to get these vehicles that, we're bringing back, or maybe stuff that hasn't, been in the game yet, oh, well, you can get these cool things. Or maybe they bring back a GE box, and it's like, oh, well, if you buy so many GE boxes, you can get this cool decoration. It is all a way of getting you to spend money on RNG mechanics. It is straight up a gambling setup, and it hurts. It hurts. I cannot stand the fact that right now in society, you're not allowed to smoke. Smoke's being banned pretty much everywhere around me. Alcohol itself is going up in price. Obviously, certain drugs are getting legalized, at least over here, but the prices of them are skyrocketing for obvious reasons. And now we just have this new setup, which is the, once again, allowed addiction to have over this period of time. Whether it's in sports betting, whether it's in gaming, where everybody was against it a few years ago, and now it's just fully normalized into every single game that exists, and it's gambling. And it's just awful. It's crap. I'm sick of it, and it's getting expanded over and over and over again. And it's just the fact that we lose so many systems. We lose so many systems because of it. And it sucks. I can't stand it. I can't at all. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.